My name is Yvonne Wamucii. I'm an environmentalist by profession. Born and raised in Embu County. I did not vie for any political position, but I was actually actively involved in the presidential campaigns here in 2013 and in the last general election. I would say that was a very interesting period. We got to learn a lot, and especially when you go to the grassroots and have to meet with the people that are actually the people that give you the votes. It's so unfortunate that most of us Kenyans really depend on handouts, especially during the campaign period. For most of the people in the grassroots, campaign periods are the times that they make money, they make free money because they get to have politicians visit them, give them handouts, give them free stuff. So I realized that for most Kenyans, the political season is a time that they get to get free stuff from the politicians. Also notice that as Kenyans, we tend to divide a lot along tribal lines during the election. We get very many political parties that are tribal based. So even during the campaigns, you find politicians campaigning on tribal lines and region blocks. It's really interesting because I remember back in campus, I really needed to know, I was very curious of knowing what was happening in the political circles in our country. I was able to run a campaign on my own in campus. It was dubbed Kura Kwa Amani. It was basically a campaign that was encouraging youths not to be involved in violence after the political seasons. And it was very successful. I was able to go out of even my own campus, that was Kenyatta University. And through that, I got to mingle and meet young leaders. I built very many networks. I slowly got inducted into TNA. I joined the youth league, the TNA youth league, and that was my start point in politics. In the 5 years, we now look at service delivery. We had a successful campaign period. We campaigned. We went to the grassroots. We sold the manifesto to the people. So right now we're back to the offices, busy working. For us as Jubilee, we're focusing on the Big Four agenda. We want to sell the agenda to the country. We want to see our country attain affordable housing. We want to see us get to the affordable healthcare. We want to see development of our manufacturing industry, which will create job opportunities for our young people. We also want to see food security. For me, my greatest desire is to change the lives of people, and not just the current generation, but the future generation. So for me, what I really want to do for my people is anything that will be sustainable. I do not just want to be remembered for one project that was successful for 5 years and failed immediately or was forgotten immediately after I left office. But for me, I want to focus on major projects that will be sustainable, that will benefit generations that will come even after us. I would say it's very important for any politician or any young woman to have a support system. For me, my family has always stood by me. They've always believed in my dreams. Times I find my dreams so ambitious, but my family has always believed in me. I would also not ignore the fact that I have been around politicians, some in our party and some not in my party, who have supported us as young people and have held our hands, made it clear to us that it's not too early to start. Personally, in my party, I have had women who have stood by us, who have encouraged us. They have carried us with them as they go for their campaign trails. They have taught us how stuff are done. They have sat us down and explained how we need to behave as young women in politics. They have also explained the expectations that we need to know. So when we go out there and find challenges, they don't hit us as hard because those are things that we have already been prepared. There are few things that any politician will need to run a successful campaign. One, which I think is one of the main, is of the financial muscle. It's very hard for anybody to run a campaign without having the resources. Because you see, if I am meant to campaign, I'll need to go around my constituencies, I'll need to go talk to the people, I'll need to go visit people at the grassroots, and all that comes with a cost. So I think financial muscle is something that we all need to work on if you ever feel like you want to run for office, because you'll need to facilitate yourself and even the team that comes with you to the campaigns. Secondly, I think we need to work on a track record, because one thing about our politics is that you need to be remembered for something. You need to remind the people of something that you have done. People will always remember what you have done for them. So every politician needs to work on a track record. If you ever plan on being a leader, you need to go back to your people, sit down with them, do a need assessment with them, identify what they need as their people, and try to work with them to get to what to achieve their needs. One of the main things that I would want to see change in our national and even the county policy making process is the making or voting in bills due to tyranny of numbers. That is something that I really find off with our legislatures, because you see what happens is that if you have numbers, you can just vote in a bill that is not even favoring the people just because you have the numbers and you want to show your opponents that you can vote in the bill. Empowerment for me means giving women the same platform as men when it comes to leadership position. I believe women should be encouraged first to run for office, because that is one thing that most of us refrain from. Secondly, I think we need to educate our women. That is something that I encourage people. I encourage people to take their girls to school to further their studies, and if you can, further them even more. In our day-to-day life, we get very many platforms that empower women. Like in our party, we usually have committees, and in these committees, we make sure that we have gender balance. You can't have a male as a chair and a vice chair. I always consider Wangari Maathai as my mentor. I like the way she fought for our environment, and being an environmentalist, that's an issue that I relate and I am passionate about. So the fact that she was actually the first woman to attain a doctorate degree, she's also the founder of the Green Belt movement that was able to fight for the conservation of our environment and also fight for women's rights. I would also point out Martha Karua. She's not from my party, but I admire her strength in fighting for women's rights. She was a minister of justice for a while, and she always advocated for she advocated for women's rights. She also advocated for more women in power. In our party, I would say that I have learned a lot from the male counterparts, like the male political leaders, people like Johnson Sakaja, who've made it into the political circles at a very young age, who've made a difference. They have gotten to all those senior positions. And being my party leader, like that was back in TNA, I feel like I relate more to such guys, like people like him, because they have showed us the journey. They have showed us that it is possible. You can make it. You just need to take a step at a time. it's really unfortunate that our society has stereotyped women as homemakers. You're just supposed to be married and stay at home, raise kids. But for us women in politics, it's kind of tough getting out there, and especially for us who are not married. I'm speaking for myself. It's hard for you to go out there and convince people, and especially men, that you can lead them. Yeah, so I think that is something that we need to work on as a society, because the challenges I face as a woman in Jubilee are the same challenges a woman in ODM or any other party will face.